Hi everyone, it's Cal. I hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to talk about the origin of Earth from a mystic perspective. And of course, Earth is our great mother. It is our local mother, and she is the one that is housing us and feeding us and caring for us within her atmosphere. So there are kind of three theories that I'll talk about, and one is the pebble accretion theory, and so that is a force in space that is drawing all these pebbles together to form the Earth. And yes, that is true. And then there's the disk instability theory, where the disk of the Earth, because all this stuff is on it now, it's making it unbalanced. Uh, it, 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 it is unstable, but then it becomes in balance. And then, of course, there's the core accretion theory, and that is how everything organizes itself through that instability. And it's the solar winds that organize it from the lighter to the denser. And of course, the denser is the closest to Earth. From a mystic perspective, yes, all this is happening and more. The origin, the beginning of it, happened when the sun came into orbit around a dark essence. And this dark essence is receptive, loving, deep, deep, loving receptivity, this essence. And as the sun came to rotate around it, because they are attracted to each other, the sun is active, the sun is bright, the sun is assertive, and the receptive force is passive, receptive, and allowing. So these two forces are attracted, and it is the father, the sun, that comes into orbit around the mother, so to speak. And this essence that has drawn all these particles, these pebbles, these particles in space, within all these particles, there is carbon and there is little flecks of light. And what this is, it's kind of like the shit from stars. It's the stuff that stars excrete, and it goes, into the universe. And this is all bound, how do I say this? This comes to the mother due to her sense of receptivity. So its force pulls all these things to it. And the sun sort of fertilizes the planet and impels growth through its activity, its knowledge that it sends to us through its beams of light. Every day when we go outside and we have these beams of light, this is knowledge being radiated down onto us. And so we have the flecks of light that exist within all the carbon of the planet are being pulled into expansion, into growing towards its origin, which is the stars. And there is also the dark component, the component that is working, the carbon that is working to become receptive. And that is sort of the children of the mother. And when I was in deep, deep meditation and I had come out of it and I'd come back to Canada, I actually saw this and I knew these smoky beings. It looks like smoke, but they are intelligent. So what had happened was I had come back and I was staying at my parents' house after coming out of meditation. something I don't really like to do. I was at my father's house. I came back and I was still leaving my body every day. And one time I was out of my body and I saw all these, I want to say beings, but they were dark, smoky clouds, but they were intelligent and they were coming to me and they were feeding off of me. Like, it was bizarre, and I was kicking them away from me. My spiritual body, which was out of my physical body. And but these, I was told at that moment, these are your brothers and sisters. This is where you come from. I still didn't want them feeding off of me. But that's what I was told at that time. So we have come an incredibly long way. We are not just something in the universe. We have evolved into, at the height of human, the image of the universe, the image of the galaxy, the image of the solar system. And at every level of the Kundalini, that's where our invisible planet exists at this time. As we grow, they will become more and more visible. Of course, we won't be in the matrix anymore. We will be out starting our own little family, each of us independently. So it is a very, very organic beginning. And as the light is pulling us into being, we are morphing, Darwinism, we are morphing through these different bodies as we earn those attributes or need to learn new attributes. So that's why you see some go out of it, some animals go out of existence and some come into existence. We're just always morphing until we get to the height of humans. So we've come from nothing. And when you do the Kundalini, you are shown every life you have ever lived back to the darkness, the dark void, where you are the smoky thing in the earth. You are in the darkness. Literally, you are in the dark and you're being brought into the light more and more every moment of your existence here on the planet. And this is the solar building system, and you should be ecstatic that you are here. It is hard to get here. Everything wants to be here. It is an honor to be able to be here on this planet and be in human form. So hooray you. The journey has been awesome, and you are centuries, beyond centuries. You're thousands of years old. But it never stops, and you continue to grow. And the universe, of course, beyond knowing the age of the universe, but you are growing into that. And there's more than one universe. There are multi-universes, infinity universes, just like there are people on the globe. Every universe its own, but they are all similar. So just like each human is similar, and so are the universes. And so this is all coming from a mystic perspective after the Kundalini, okay? The Kundalini connects you to the starry grid, which are the lights that you see in the sky. They're all circling, and they're all circling the galactic center for a very good reason, because there is a pattern. The pattern of circling is reflected everywhere. Your organs are doing it. Your blood is doing it. Everything about you is doing it. The weather is doing it. The seasons are doing it. The planet is doing it. The moon is doing it. All planets are doing it. The circle is everything. Everything. And this circle is the same circle everywhere. And our ancestors knew about it. And that's why they left us the archetypes of the zodiac, to show us the emotional components of the circle, large and small, within and without. The archetypes have been delineated by our ancestors who studied the motions, and they found the tie between, they must have done the Kundalini, and there is knowledge that they have done the Kundalini in the past, and that this is what your whole existence here is to do. It is to do the Kundalini at some point, whether it's in this life or another one. But of course, I'm impatient, so I did it in this one as soon as I could, without knowing. We are all on auto drive, and the thing that's driving us is our emotions, and it is the Divine Mother who's behind this whole act. The Father is the inventor of the system. He is the one that impregnates, and she is the one that raises, but she is the one that allowed it from the beginning, and she knew more than he did from the beginning. She is wiser beyond wise, and she is ancient, way older than he is. He is a young man, but very bright, literally. Everything mimics the coalescing of the archetypes, whether it's Hollywood movies, whether it's your inner worlds, the worlds around you. Everything is mimicking the interplay of the archetypes. And within our bodies, that's happening too. Organs are speaking to each other at all times. They have a very dependent relationship on one another. And there are 78, I believe, I have to look at it, 78 main interactions that we'll be talking about in the future. So this is the origin of the earth. And you can see sort of from the mystic point of view how it all happened in a very natural coalescence. And it is, again, the story of attraction and detraction, and how two forces attracted each other, a bright force and a receptive force, to come together to create children, and we are all the children. And from our perspectives, these thousands of years of our growing has been forever. But when you're connected to the web, it is so fast. It's not felt like thousands and thousands. It's felt like a few moments. It's very different from the larger perspective than it is from our perspective here. And it's a beautiful thing, and it's organic, and we are organically the reflection of the entire universe, as is each independent component connected to it. From human down, no. From human upward, yes. We are getting to when we get to the height of human, we are mimicking our forebears, we're mimicking our parents, and but not before that. So it's very exciting to be in your shoes. Very exciting. And you've come a long ways, and well done. And it's not about our biological mom and dad. It's about the big mom and dad. So, yeah. So that's all I wanted to really talk about on this video, was the mystic perspective of the earth. So this receptive force is very much alive and very much aware. Very much alive and very much aware. And her core, who she is the protectress. She is offering this planet to protect you here so that you can grow. The Father is putting you through systems of growth every day. And then at night, you go back to the Mother. When you rest, you go back to the Mother. You go back to the great truth. And then you come back to the Matrix every morning and you begin again. And it all relates to the building of your organs, because mind doesn't exist just in the head, it exists all throughout the body. And that's what we are building. We are building your mind, body, your spirit, and the vehicle that goes with it, your body. And the Kundalini harnesses both of them together and attaches you to your true parents, which is the Heavenly Father and the Heavenly Mother. So you're anchored to her. She anchors you to her. And when you go to the Father, it's all on your own steam. You go to the Father, and then you touch the web of knowledge and you enter into adolescence in the galaxy. So the mystic perspective is we can see everything from a very organic viewpoint, and there is no mistake. There is no mistake. You are organically, you have been deliberately incubated, so that this mother has been deliberately impregnated. You have been deliberately incubated so that you would deliberately grow through a deliberate system to become more than you were before and to know your greater parents. That's just the way it is. Yeah, so I hope this helped you see from a different perspective. This is the mystic's perspective, and if you are engaged in meditation, and you do great heights of meditation, you will arrive with the same knowledge, because how do I say this? You will arrive at the same knowledge. You might explain it a little bit different, but the knowledge is still the same, and there are higher and higher and higher peaks of knowledge. And when you get to the higher peaks of knowledge, that just means it goes, like you can see a pyramid where there's a whole bunch of different knowledge here, but it gets up to the one peak, where is the knowledge that cannot be it's truer than the rest. It is the one thing for all. So if you're in meditation, stay with it. Prepare yourself, though. If you're looking to do transcendence, again, there are different gradations. How you live this life is really how you're going to experience the Kundalini. I lived it super powerfully, taking big risks, and I was super driven. And if you're doing that, you'll have the big peaks and the big downloads. But if you're not doing that, it is all fabulous regardless, and there's no competition and there's no comparisons. There is, and there just is. So if you're doing it in a different way, a more low-keyed way, a more grounded way, that's fine too. Everything at some point after Kundalini, and maybe before, but for me it was after, everything becomes, everything is a vibratory weight. So you know the truth in things when you're talking to people, because you understand the vibratory weight of things. And you get away from any kind of judgment, and you go into this kind of vibratory world of understanding through vibration, which is very interesting and way less effort. So, but there you have it. This is the world from the formation of the world from a mystic point of view. So I hope this helped you in some way. And I hope it offered clarity, because that is what I was always seeking, is clarity from all the muck everywhere. And it seems like the internet is just bringing more and more muck. I mean, people can just make anything up, and it seems to be a go. And then they can say it with such velocity, and you go, oh yeah, maybe that's right. Ah, I mean, you can just get lost in the stuff out there. What each person is seeking to achieve is an inner density. And this inner density is, you have this axis inside of you, and you are growing its weight. And you grow its weight through experience, through being out in the world, through self challenge, through all sorts of endeavors. And as you grow this weight, you move away from this sort of linear mental thing, and you move more into the knowledge of the body. And the knowledge of the body is intuitive, it is through feeling, it is uh, the understanding beyond all the words. And the words just kind of, they were a pretty dance in the beginning, but they kind of just, become like, uh, how do I say this? A badly dressed imitation of the truth. And the truth is all in vibrational resonance. And that's why a lot of the ancient texts, like they're trying to speak about these deep things metaphorically, because there are no words that can really convey uh, these deep things that have nothing to do with the minusculity of our sort of daily routines. But these daily routines that we do are leading to greater and greater processes within us, because it is habit that is building you. And that's why creating habits that align with positive thoughts, words, and deeds are sort of the foundation of most religions. Yeah, so building this inner core, this is the mother's force, the inner core, and the body, the muscles, all the things around it are the father's world. And the acupoints that live inside of you, I mean, they are closer to the surface of the skin and the deepness of your being, the deepness of the mother, that axis that is rooting you, trying to root you every day, and its energy flow is trying to connect you upward more to more creative, until eventually you peak and you meet the creator, and then you go, wow, that's a pretty damn cool creation you made, which really is a reflection of the divine that was force grown through focus, collective focus of the stars, focusing on growing children is what's happening. And the mother, the nurturer, is always with us in greater and lesser forms. And it has to do with vibration, to which one you're vibing to. But we all have the same powers, so we can vibe to greater and lesser all the time. Just choose and vibe there. Forget about what your friends are doing. It's a waste of time anyways. And start doing this inner work, because the inner work is a fascinating world. Forget about the facelifts, the movie stars, the fancy cars, the big houses. That is just a smoke show. The truth is behind the facade. The truth is the growth of the individual. And growing that inner core is the key to knowing deep, deep, deep truth. Deep truths that are so satisfying. And that's what you want. You want satisfaction. And satisfaction doesn't come from this outward building, moving, this, that. It comes inward. And you know that if you've ever raised a child and this child has grown to be a good, steady, loving person, that's the work you've done on the inside. If your child grows to look good, but there's nothing going on the inside, all the focus has been put out here, but nothing has been put in here, and that's sad. That's sad, because it is the inner worlds that give us the beauty of every day. And it is the inner worlds that is worth living for. And so to be on this internet all the time being told how important our looks are, and I think I was reading something the other day and an image of a movie star came up, and she had I don't know how many facelifts and who knows what, and she was wearing some kind of bikini, and the caption was, this person was praised for doing this and looking like this. But you know what? All of that leaves you empty. All of this doing to yourself on the outside, when really it's the inside we want to build. We want to build the inside so that we can understand things in rainbows of colors, in layers of being. We want to build this inner world because this inner world becomes the bridge to every single thing we're doing and every person that we're meeting. And if we go through life just acknowledging the surface and the image on the outside and never getting to bridge to the inside, to the deeper things, then the satisfaction is lost. Because satisfaction on this is fleeting, but satisfaction inside is life-lasting. So I'll let you go. I don't want to be rambling on, but it is good to sometimes just state those things to kind of set the record straight, because every person is, we're all the same, but every person is unique unto them, you know, but we're still all the same. And building the inner world is building vibrations of light that connect to all things. And that's what the sun does. Radiates down and sheds intelligence on all things. Light tries to reach as far as it can into caves and down into deep holes. It tries as far as it can to reach long and wide to bring knowledge. And that's what light is, it's knowledge. Now there's a lot to be said about the two forces, the male and the female, or the active and the passive. But today, I just really wanted to touch on the earth, the formation of the earth from a mystic perspective. So I hope this served you in some way. I'd love to hear anything you have to say on it, your comments, and anything you'd like to know about that maybe I have some knowledge on. You can post below or share your knowledge with others. We also have community pages here, so if you had like a really big post, you can go to the community pages and paste as well, because really it's about sharing. It's not just about me, it's about everybody sharing too, because people have different views and they have a lot to give the world that comes from their inside. So I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, and other than that, I want you to have a great week, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.